What's up, meta nerds? Doing this for the completionist in me, and I'm sure some of you real Mon Cala fans will still find it interesting. Sadly, there aren't many details on the MC95. Just put up the MC90, and we learned how it was the catalyst for the new class modernization program, which sought to make a new standardized ship series that tried to combine the best aspects of the CIS's fleet using droid brains and crew to automate the process, with the Empire's modular parts and similar ship structures to take full advantages of the economies at the scale of a galaxy-spanning military. That was true in the original canon, or Legends, though it doesn't really clash with what we see in Ahsoka, as the project wasn't completed until 20 ABY, as late as 8 years after the show takes place. So when we see the MC95, it is in 34 and 35 ABY, during the fight with the First Order. You gotta love that the centralized democracy was being protected in the largest part by the Mon Cala fleets, and the MC95 is said to be in service of the Mon Calamari monarchy. Though being sympathetic to the resistance movement, many would come under the leadership of General Leia Organa. Now for specifics, we do get that it is larger than a Resurgent class Star Destroyer, which would make it the biggest MC line ship by far. As most were maxing out around 1500 meters, the Resurgent is nearly twice that at 2915.81 meters, or 1.8 miles. So this would be the largest jump we see in any MC creation, and is on par with the Viscount class Star Defender, which was 3000 kilometers. It is really poetic that they go from converting their civic centers, literally buildings, into warships, pull off an underdog win, and don't make the foolish mistake of the New Republic, but take their military very seriously, and vowed that no foreign power would ever show up and bully them again. Something about Mon Cal commanders and ships bigger than Star Destroyers just sits right with me, though I'm sure they were very annoyed that they had to rescue the Republic again. You get your iconic blister pods, which could house everything from weapon systems to shield projectors, and I would think that, like with the Home 1, many of these could break away as complete ships and smaller escape pods. We are told its hangars are only these two up front, but given its much larger size, I'm sure it could handle a whole mini fleet, not clamped on like the CR90 and the MC75, but maybe even inside as it's only 150 meters long. And things like the U-Wing alone were 24 meters and very comfortable in the MC75's hangar. And we get 5 sub-variants. Now, the out-of-universe explanation is that for the 16,000 ships created for the final battle on Exegol, to do this they did a digital kit bash, combining parts of all sorts of models, so some look a bit silly. The A is good, just feels like a Home 1 and Liberty. The B has these strange fins, but you could think of it all powering some specialized super heavy turbo lasers or ion cannons, like the sniping comparison I made with the Munificent. But these wings towards the front hangars drive me nuts. Imagine the issues you would have trying to get in there. I get that they could act like a barrier, a way to shield the hangar, but it's not worth it. There's a reason we don't see this on other more thought out ships. The C is growing on me, no real complaints, and it hits one of the most important parts of a Mon Cal ship. Not the logical design or stats, but simply that it evokes the watery world of its creators. As one commenter pointed out on the MC75 vid, the fact that it evokes a fish or marine creature is part of why this new canon creation is so loved by fans. And it is a bit on the nares, but it does clearly look like a fish, and is like the MC140 Scythe, which I'll be covering next. The D, on the other hand, looks like Mon Cala Shipyards was using 3D printers to build them, and the file got hacked, or 4 different ships are being built here at once. It fails to have the bridge tower aesthetic done so well with the Quarren builds for the CIS, and you get this wannabe Liberty wing with an odd C9979 sticking out over here, while still having the normal MC bridge up front, and hangars that would incur more pilot deaths than the worst TIE Fighter squadron being almost as forward as possible. And the E slips past critique simply by being boring. Sadly, it does make it a very reasonable ship. You get the odd hangars too, but the large antenna array up top and the big pods on each side make me think that this was more like a recon or support craft that is not supposed to be in combat, and the crew could escape and slip through hyperspace with these pods if they were discovered deep in enemy territory. So if you learned anything or thought this was interesting, please leave a like, subscribe to see more, members get early access to videos, and check out these recommendations, I'm sure you'll like them. The only behind the scenes fact is that the MC95 plays a big role in the actually pretty fun Rise of Resistance ride. And be sure to check out geekygrotto.com. They're amazing alternatives to LEGO. All the parts are compatible with official LEGO products, but because they're not official, they're a lot cheaper and you get a ton more creative options. Everything from tanks, all kinds of military stuff. The Kawaii collection has all kinds of cute stuff, so the range is incredible. Vehicles in general, and the space stuff I find particularly interesting. I gotta pick up one of these soon. Be sure to check them out, 10% off, link down in the description. But most important of all, remember, there's always a bigger fish ship, and the Force will be with you, always.